He's never going to let me do that. Yeah.
Hello, friends. It's me, host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I'm here for a delightful whimsy frolic today. Who's with me? Who wants to frolic in the delight? Who wants to enjoy the whimsy? Who wants to perhaps frolic in the whimsy or enjoy the delight? Any of those is possible. We're having a picnic on delightful Whimsy Meadow. If you've ever been to Whimsy Meadow before, you know just how delightful it is. We're having a picnic there today. And what do we do when we picnic at Whimsy Meadow? We frolic in the delight. Hi, Queen Tiger. I got through about half of your video. The problem was your audio levels. Now, I'm one to talk, right? Frequently, my audio levels are fucked up too, but I got tired of riding the volume knob up and down. I do it too. I've made that mistake lots and lots and lots of times. For me, it always happens because I've got the mics turned down for recording guitar, and then I forget to turn them back up for when I'm making a talking video of some sort, you know? So anyhow, regardless of that, I wanted to stress to you and everybody else that today we're frolicking on the Whimsy Meadow, that it's going to be delightful, and that it's pretty much just nonstop sheer old-fashioned gaiety around here. Nothing but balloons, nothing but sparkles, nothing but sunflowers, and of course, don't forget doilies. With sauce, sup? I'll tell you what's sup. Doilies. Doilies are among the more whimsical of your linen products. They don't really serve any purpose that I can tell, but they do have a lot of holes in them. Making videos is an art form that requires one to, if one wishes to do it well, to attend specifically to what the audience experience is going to be like, rather than to what one's own experience is going to be like. Wiz Sauce is pretty goddamn hungry right now. Perhaps you should have a doily. You could use it to place a flower vase on top of a table. Well, it would be on top of the doily, of course, and then the table underneath that. But, we're not really talking about food today. We're not talking about audio levels, Queen Tiger. We're not talking about sups with sauce. We're talking about whimsy. We're enjoying what it means to be whimsical today. Who can think of something whimsical? Who can think of a whimsical little guy? Who can think of one? Remember, when we're talking about things that are whimsical, we typically refer to them as little guys or little gals. Okay? So does anybody have in mind a whimsical little guy or little gal that we could enjoy and we can delight in a frolicking like fashion? No one? Okay, well, I want to welcome you all today to Muriel's World of Whimsy. Hambone, thank you. That is so whimsical. Dustin Hoffman. He is chock full of whimsy. One time I think I saw him, and I think it was just him by himself, maybe. He was frolicking at Whimsy Meadow just like we're doing today. And isn't that a small world? Isn't it a small world? What's more whimsical than that? The smallness of a world. Oh my gosh. Helpo. What? Oh, hello. I was terribly confused for a second there, Andy. Terribly confused. Eric Strauss is pretty whimsical? I don't know who that is. My name's Muriel, and I want to welcome everybody today to Muriel's World of Whimsy. Today we're talking about adorable, darling little guys and little gals. John Cena is an adorable little guy. He's full of whimsy. I've never seen a more doily-like fellow. Now, I think we can all uphold doilies as the ultimate standard of whimsy. If you get to doily level, you're incredibly whimsical. Dick Van Dyke. Oh my gosh. I remember when he was on the television. He was on that show. I was watching it, and I couldn't help it. I was tittering, giggling. I even launched into a periodic guffaw. Why? Because that man is a whimsical fellow. Good one, MJ. Whimsical guy. Shirtless Woodman? Well, he's a bit of a stern fellow. I don't know if he's very whimsical. I don't know. Hey. Did somebody call me whimsical? Ain't nothing whimsical about me. I'm made out of wood. I'm a shirtless woman, god damn it. Well, nobody called me whimsical. Jesus Christ. Who said that, Eric? It was Zandy. Zandy! Did you call me whimsical? Ain't no whim, ain't no skull, and ain't no icicle. Which means I ain't no whimsical. All right, shirtless woman. Thank you.
What you could do is get a nice thing and write it on that thing.
I think you touched a nerve, Sandy.
Yeah.
I think you touched a nerve. He doesn't even want, I'm not even going to read it out loud. I don't want him to even hear it. You know. A lot of times, he's very suspicious. A lot of times, he'll come barging in out of nowhere and just be like, did somebody say shirtless Woodman? Nobody was talking about you, shirtless Woodman. Jesus Christ. What exactly would an ENTJ ISFJ relationship be like? Well, interestingly, I typed a ENTJ 2 nights ago who was, from what I could tell from his stories and such, married to an ISFJ. It's a strange relationship. He described having a lot of trouble with his wife's stories. That his wife would start telling him a story about something that she presumably had some point to, or maybe not because she's an ISFJ, and he'd try to follow along with all the details, but he'd have to stop her after a little and go, hold on. So you were at the store and what? And it's like his point being, what is she seems to be talking about nothing, that there's not any point to it really. And I would imagine that concurrently she thinks all that TE shit doesn't make any sense to her at all, you know. But on the other hand, she is demonstrative FI and he is demonstrative NE. And so in that regard, it's almost like a trap, because, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not sure if the demonstrative FI satisfies his FI seeking, or if the demonstrative NE satisfies her NE seeking or not. But I was thinking about demonstrative functions in general lately, and it was occurring to me that
Hand this to him.
I hand this to him. I mean, this guy on the screen. Here you go, mister.
And they really work, those two.
They do.
See, just like that.
Okay, great. So demonstrative functions, it's like you do it to support. I mean, it's like you make your tool function useful to other people through your demonstrative function. So your tool function is something you use for your own purposes, but you'll approach everything through that lens. But your demonstrative function is one that you're going to use for externals. When situations demand you to back up your tool function, you're going to back it up with your demonstrative function. But you don't use your demonstrative function much at all in your own life, and you don't even really get how to turn it on in any sense. Like I don't get TE, but I seem to be able to do it in certain kinds of circumstances better than others. And so it's like, if you were seeking TE, would you get TE from me? Yeah, probably. But but then if you are, it's like I'm at work, you know. I don't think Kimberly's demonstrative FI though is all the time. So I don't know. It's a tricky question to answer. I guess I've just been musing about it and not really coming to conclusions. I probably let it come out of my mouth too soon without thinking it all the way through. Kitty meow meows are whimsical. Kitty meow meows are among the most whimsical of all of the small mammals. Hi, Sheila W. Sheila W's here, everybody. Oh, Sheila W. Are you one half Sheila, one half W? Or are you she, Isla W? MJ retracted a message. I don't even remember what it was. That's the point of retraction, I guess, is that it requires people to remember then. TE thinking out loud. Ferrets are also whimsical, but please don't tell them I said so. TE thinking out loud? No, that was TI thinking out loud. TINE thinking out loud. 3/4 she, 100% woman. 100%, huh? Even your penis? That part's a woman too? Winston's mom. Does Winston really spell his name with a Y like that? Winston's mom? Ferrets can be whimsical, unless you're referring, of course, to the famous ferret Sredni Vashtar. Who knows about Sredni Vashtar? Let me share a link with everybody. It's pretty important. Sredni Vashtar. I think maybe we'll have a little bit of story time. Maybe we'll just share a link. I'll just share a little bit of this with you. It's a pretty good story, you know. I'll begin it. I'll read a little bit and then I'll pause and I'll go through the chats again. I'll read the first paragraph. Conradin was 10 years old, and the doctor had pronounced his professional opinion that the boy would not live another 5 years. The doctor was silky and effete and counted for little, but his opinion was endorsed by Mrs. de Ropp, who counted for nearly everything. Mrs. de Ropp was Conradin's cousin and guardian, and in his eyes she represented those 3/5 of the world that are necessary and disagreeable and real. The other 2/5, in perpetual antagonism to the foregoing, were summed up in himself and his imagination. One of these days, Conradin supposed he would succumb to the mastering pressure of wearisome necessary things, such as illnesses and coddling restrictions and drawn-out dullness. Without his imagination, which was rampant under the spur of loneliness, he would have succumbed long ago. That's the first paragraph of a story called Sredni Vashtar by Saki, or H.H. Monroe, who was a writer who lived a depressingly short 56 years. Probably my favorite writer, that guy. This is my very favorite writer, if I have to pick one. He's the best. He's an EHP. Clear as day, he's an EHP. He has to be. Or he could be an INFJ, but he's an EHP. So anyone with a penis under 5 inches is a woman, Sheila? Is that what you're saying? Whew. Those little things floating in your eyes when you rub them are whimsical. Those things are floaters, is what they're called. They're called eye floaters. And what you do is you put them on when you're a little kid so you don't drown in the pool. Making jokes, enjoying the whimsy. Yesterday we're delighting here in a frolic whimsy field. Damn, 56 is twice my life. I have a long way to go, and that's my wife. Better find some hobbies, and that's my strife, because I'm Matthew Alistair. That's a good entrance there, Matthew. Way to wrap your way into the room. Joel Nathan Henry. Are the little things with tools surrounding your bed when you are fully awake but paralyzed whimsical? Little things with tools, huh? I can't even think of any joke. I don't know what's wrong with me. Elves, obviously. Gnomes, possibly. One of the two. One of the small mythical creatures, I would guess, or fairies. You get 3 possibilities. You're not British, though? British? Are you not British? Hello. My name's Margaret and I'm from Britain. In Britain, Margaret is a man's name. Is it? I've never met any other Margarets, male Margarets before. Very common here in Britain. I wrap my way into the room. I read sake and I drink it too. Pretty good. Except for the last word isn't really a word, you know. Working class woman from Britain, very well. Oh, you mean screechy lady? Hello! Hey! Curtis! Come over here and get me from the lower station! I wonder if people actually talk like that. Probably not.
You have to send him on his own.
You have to send him on his own, huh? Philosophical thinker, hello. Retro Gamer 71, thank you for your praise of my British accent. Sounds like a bird with a bad stomachache. Well, in England, they call women birds. And they call men caterpillars. What up, what up, what up? Ha cha 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 cha. I think that probably the best advice I can give to anybody, people are sometimes seeking advice from me and such, is develop a repertoire of funny noises you can make like that at the end of sentences. And then try to end more of your sentences with them. So, you know, wabba wabba wabba, or you can also incorporate hand things like this. Like that. I did not serve in the Navy. Music. I served in no armed force. I served some gravy at Thanksgiving. It's a little bit different, though. It's probably where you got confused. One time I was talking about my service of the gravy at Thanksgiving, and a lot of people thought I was talking about serving in the Navy, but no. That Hello Kitty guitar is broken, unfortunately. But I don't want to just throw it away because I can still use it for some sort of musical instrument purpose. I could put a new neck on it in theory, or I don't know. It's like I'm going to scrap. I don't want to scrap it. If I'm going to scrap it, I want to scrap it for parts and stuff, you know. But yeah, the neck broke. Kimberly knocked it over and broke it. But you'll see that Sport Hands is holding on to it as well. Nice jazz scatting. Again, jazz is funny. You know, I used to, when I was a kid, I listened to, Are You Throwing Shade music? You throwing shade, dog? I hope not. Armed services, no, but you've been vital to Type Police Sergeant. You're only one. There is duty domestically. Well, that's true. They also serve who only sit and wait, as the old saying goes. The neck broke being too rock and roll, I suppose. No, being too knocked over by Kimberly is what it was, actually. With sauce. I want to make sure you keep them up, so I appreciate the periodic updates regarding the status of your digestive system, your food intake, and need for food. If you weren't keeping us informed, I would know, and it would be a worse life. How did it go getting pulled over by a vigilante? I got pulled over by a vigilante? I did? Oh, yeah, that dude. That's right. Queen Tiger. Oh, by the way, he said in that video he's not a homosexual. He's a transsexual. So, my mistake. Transgender, whatever you call it. I didn't mean to miscategorize him. Right. Please do jazz and skitty shat doo-wop. Okay, well, there's a song I used to sing a lot called Lush Life. You might have heard of it. It's a famous jazz song. It goes like this. I used to visit all those very gay places, those come what may traces, those you can tell who they've been washed away. by 2 minutes through the day, 12 o'clock chills. Then you came along with your siren song to tempt me to madness. I thought for a while that your poignant smile was tinged with the sadness of a great love for me. Oh, yeah, I was wrong again. I was wrong. Bonum, bonum, bonum. Life
Can I ask you something?
is a full again, sure. Full of hearts.
Okay, well,
Would only
he's one
untrue.
of my whole thing.
He is who?
He can open it up and he can pull them out.
A week in Paris could
And it
ease
works.
the bite of it. All I care is to smile in spite of it.
Well, at the beginning, it was sort of scary. Because,
You know why I know that whole song? I could finish it even. But the reason I know the whole song is because it's something I listened to when I was a teenager a lot, you know? There's this, I was into the Manhattan Transfer and this other band called Red Clay that were these like vocal jazz groups, right? It has like 4 or 5 members and they did vocal jazz. And that was one of the songs that Red Clay won. No, what was it called? They had the gayest name. I don't remember what it was called. I can't remember their name, but it was the gayest name in history. I don't know. Manhattan Transfer is not a great name, but I was a big Manhattan Transfer fan. So I got a certain amount of that shit just embedded in me. You know, you can open them up and pull them out. Your mom might deliver some interesting. I know. I've many times thought to myself, I need to keep track of them all because she says so many weird things, or like make me laugh or make me go, where the hell did that come from? You know. And there's lots of sentences that don't have any. They just have all the mechanical words without any of the nouns and stuff, really. So she'll be like, well, they had to go over there and do those things and put those things over there, and then they had to come back over here and stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? But it's weird how her language is decaying the way that it is and not some other way. You know, it's like she's not losing all aspects of language concurrently. She's losing it from the top down, obviously, down to the structure of the thing. And also, she's still FE. You can see the FE all over the place. You know, it's like nothing but FE anymore. The tool function is still clearly obvious. She's still doing FE shit all the time, you know? Watch. Yeah, right. That would be cool. I mean, you got to pick the right ones, right? You can't just.
Yeah, even I didn't notice. I thought, no.
You know, even I didn't notice. I thought, no is fine, but it probably wouldn't be one I'd choose, you know? Would you agree, or have you considered that the functions are not just independent expression of self, but can be invested in static things like objects or garb? I would say that they can be invested in them. What do you mean by, well, sure. It's like your SI can incorporate your stuff, and it does. Like my SI incorporates my wallet. I'm constantly checking in my pocket to make sure my wallet's there and stuff like that. And FE can be expressed via clothing, and your clothing is part of you as well. So it's kind of an SI thing too. And for example, this last night, Kimberly has this thing in the kitchen that she wants to put next to the fridge. But here's the problem. Right next to the fridge is the passageway from the kitchen into the laundry room. And it's also where the light switches are. She puts it right in front of the light switches, so you cannot turn on and off the lights without reaching behind this cabinet. You know, the fucking polar T, right? And also positions it so that there's like this much room to walk in the passageway. I mean, first what I did is I put it where she wanted me to put it.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Grandma. You okay if I put the trash? There's a trash can. I put a bag of trash in there.
Put it in this one here instead.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's such a sweetie.
Yeah, she is a sweetie. And I'll take the trash out in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, thank you. What was that? Matthew says hi, Delilah.
Who?
Matthew Allister.
One more time.
Matthew Allister. Do you remember Matthew?
From
You're mine.
I don't know if you.
You're not theirs.
From the channel.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm also gonna sleep over in Baldwin Park tonight because we're going to tea early in the morning.
You're going to tea?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're going to tea?
Like we're going to a tea room
What are you going to the tea room for?
to drink tea.
Why, you can't get tea at home?
Sorry, you're giving it my double chin the worst angle ever.
Here.
Did you know that I'm gonna get my double chin removed?
Kimberly, I mean, Delilah, you do not have a double chin.
I'm gonna get it whole sculpted off.
That's ridiculous. You're not going to get any kind of electric surgery.
It's not electric or it's not surgery.
It's elective surgery. I mean.
I don't know what that means, but
It means by choice you don't need it.
yeah. My mom's paying for it for my birthday.
You got to be fucking kidding me. How old are you, Delilah?
20, but do you want to also know a secret that you don't know yet? I'm gonna announce on the channel right now.
What? Oh my God! You got a tattoo, Delilah? Come on.
It's tiny, dude. You literally cannot physically possibly be mad at that. It's literally the size of a doo-doo.
Don't get any more.
I won't. I just wanted this tiny one.
Fine. I mean, obviously nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I know.
But it's so dumb. You're gonna wish you didn't get that.
No,
when you're
it's
older.
so fucking tiny. You have some tiny ass ones too that you regret because
I
they're
regret one of
silly.
them. I don't regret the first tattoo I ever got. Okay, I don't regret it.
Which one was the first
The
one? I like that one too.
Right.
Then I don't regret this one.
Okay, but remember, I have spent the rest of my life regretting the second tattoo.
Okay, well then.
So don't get a second tattoo.
Okay, so then you can't be mad at the first one.
I'm not mad. Do I seem mad?
You said that at first, or you seemed that at first.
No, I'm not mad. I just find it contra whimsical.
Okay, well, I am going to finish cleaning my car, and then I'm not going to be home tonight because I'm going to go tea early in the morning.
Who are you going to tea with?
It's with Candace and Diana and Katie.
Oh, you're doing a Gonzalez thing. Fine. All right. Later days. Better days. Don't forget to eat some shays.
Is there anything up there too?
Okay, but 71 goes and gets face tattoo. Well, yeah, she's going to the tea room. She's going out with my ex-wife and her family. My ex-wife basically raised her, and so is basically her mother. Her biological mother is also her mother, but she's not a very good mother. And so, you know, she is an ESTP. I had to come to terms with that. You always think checking your pockets is low SI. I think it's just low sensing, low SC. Why would it be low SE? Because it's keeping track of your stuff, your existing resources. See, it's like if I could get Delilah to regularly co-host with me, I bet our views would go way the fuck up, because you see how she dresses, and you know she's pretty stacked and everything. So that would get us a lot of views if I could simply exploit my daughter's beauty for my own personal gain. Things would be so much better. But can you say my channels? My channels. I just did. I said it. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the idea of like, because I mean, it's not like I'm telling her dress like that, right? But since she's dressed like that anyway all the time, I might as well, you know, get the extra views. Wow, I mean, I get it. if she wasn't my daughter, I'd want to look at her too, I'm sure. But, you know, there's no reason for it not to. It's like, why doesn't she listen to me and start her own channel? As I've told her a million times, well, because she's not an ENTP, that's why she's an ESTP, so she doesn't listen to me at all. But if she did, she'd get lots of views, I'm sure. Does she like ham? Yeah, she likes ham. She likes ham. She likes pork, chicken, beef, like anybody else, like any other sane human being. She doesn't like fish much, like any other sane human being. I think that's universally true. Proper eating includes your 3 main food animals and grains and a couple of vegetables and very, very little fish and lots of sugar and salt.
That's a no-no now.
Sheila, what was your first tattoo? A big penis on your forehead? That was so ill-advised. What made you think that was a good idea? Getting a penis on your forehead. Sheila W. Meat and snacks. Meat and snacks. Welcome to Meat and Snacks. You like some meat or some snacks? Channels. Peter Dennis says, what? What are you correcting? I don't see your previous thing. Oh, way up there. Very Santa Cruz-y that was?
Well, this is looking really good, except we need to get Trump.
You need to get out Trump? Okay, yeah, I know you hate him. You hate Trump.
Yes, I do.
I know you do, Mom. I'm not much of a fan of him either. I see him as a threat to our citizen democracy.
And I liked immediately the Japanese girls. They are just adorable.
The Token Butterfly back in 1994.
That's a long thing to do, but he did it.
So you got a black butterfly tattooed on you?
And,
That's interesting.
if I were you, I would say
I like Jap girls too, Eric's mom.
These are hard to get.
I like them too, Hambo. You and me both. I don't like to necessarily understand I don't like to understand the video, what they're saying in the video when I'm watching an incognito mode necessarily. I need to understand the language. Battered cod and chips. That's fish. Cod is fish. Is that a British thing? Fish and chips? You don't do that, huh? I eat fish and chips. Occasionally. Not my favorite. But it's better than other fish. For sure. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
How's it going?
By doing this, you not read it.
Yeah. It's like my grandpa always said, battered cod.
No.
My grandpa always said, I didn't beat my wife. That's a battered cod. What you want, woman? Woman snapping up fingers at me. I was so confused when I first learned English and they called the food fish and chips. Like, where are the chips? I was also confused about that when I was a child.
Chips are the...
In England, they don't know the word for French fries.
Right.
They've never been able to learn it. It's some sort of learning disability of theirs. So they call them chips.
Stand up in the
Shirtless Woodman. Is he an ISTP? Good question.
No, he's a WEIRD. Oh.
I think that Shirtless Woodman is probably maybe an ESTJ, I'm thinking. Give me that.
Oh, but if you don't get the
Give me that.
one.
Matthew Alster wants you to come over and say hi.
No.
But he says, come over and say hi, Kimberly, because he wants to talk to you and me, Shirtless Woman.
No.
She's a very, very bad woman. I'm going to go spank her ass right now. You get over here, woman, and you listen to me.
You gonna paddle me with your...
I'm Shirtless goddamn Woodman.
You gonna paddle me with your wooden spoon?
You better bet your sweet ass I will. Better bet your sweet ass. Eric don't know how to control his woman none. I'll show him a thing or two. Get over here. Fix me some sandwiches right now. Shirtless Woodman, I didn't know you were such a anti-feminist.
I want everybody in the whole house there.
Where are my
But
sandwiches?
anyway, then I wrote
Is the
it all
chips thing
down,
like the soccer
and I
versus
said,
football thing going on?
and you know,
Correct,
you
Joel
are
Nathan
going to
Henry.
stay
There's another word that the British don't have not been able to learn is soccer for some reason. I think maybe it's the "och" part. They have trouble with that pronunciation. Woodman has a nice fade type of haircut. Yeah, he's stylish. He's certainly stylish. Yeah, I don't know if he beats his wife. He doesn't have a woman right now. He's waiting for Shirtless Wood Lady to be carved. Without Shirtless Wood Lady, he's got no species made, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. I mean, first of all, his hands are permanently in his pockets. It kind of makes it hard for him to hit anybody. You know, you'll see. They're in his pockets, in his back pockets. So, you think he's an ENTJ? He might be an ENTJ. He might be an ESTJ. I think he's an ESTJ because he's always talking about the times that, he had beef with sport hands. Right. Well, what it is he gets very stiff in the cold. And for him, cold is all the way up to like 120 degrees. So he basically never gets unstiff. But if it were to get real hot, if I were to take him out to like Sahara Desert, the hottest day, then he'd be able to actually stretch out and move around and walk around and stuff. Sometimes I put him in the oven just to let him have a little exercise. And I make sure he tucks his hands right back in the same spot before I pull him out of the oven again because I wouldn't want it to change. What do you get when you cross Shirtless Woodman with limbless action figure? Well, I guess you get shirtless, limbless, or action man figure. Looks like he's trying to get his hands scented like his butt. It all smells the same, Sheila, like pure, true American hardwood. Even his junk. Even when he's sweaty. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really sweat, but you may have seen it in a recent video. He does cry sometimes. Yes, they do. Oh, Woodman, you're so stiff is indeed a common phrase he hears from women. That's a good idea, Peter Dentis. We should somehow incorporate one of Shirtless Woodman's ribs into Shirtless Wood Lady, since she will be the first female of his species. Maple sap. Okay, so I think what we do, we get a cauldron. We take a little sliver of Shirtless Woodman's rib, put it in there, some maple sap, a bit of holy water. Of course, you always got to mix holy water in with shit to make it magical. And then some apple cider vinegar, because that's also pretty magical. Then we just get some random pieces of animals, like eye of lizard and tooth of wolf, shit like that, and toss them all in there and stir it around. And then, you go 1, 2, 3, ha cha cha. 1, 2, 3, ha cha cha. Go ahead, make a shirtless lady now. And then it'll rise up out of there saying, I'm shirtless wood lady.
Now I agree with this guy.
I have to do a dance around the cauldron? Okay.
No.
I could do a dance. I could do a dance to maybe to this song here, Let's see what we got here. Come on, shirtless wood lady, come out of the cauldron. Come on, shirtless wood lady, come out of the cauldron. Look at me, do my dance. Shirtless wood lady, come out. Look at me, do my dance. Shirtless wood lady. And that's what's also required for the magical spell to work. JL is here. Thank you for being here, JL. We were wondering if you were going to show up. a lot of people have a lot of problems with you since that shit you pulled last time, and everybody wanted a dog pile. And I said, just hold on, let me have first dibs. So, okay, what are we talking about today? I forget. Whimsy, that's right. Besides Whimsy, I'm happy to field any questions about, I don't know, the earth, politics, the moon, plankton, anything you want. Eric, will you make another cross-country trip again? Yes, I will. I will definitely do so when I can, when I have the money and the plan. Catch you later. That's dog bone, by the way. Stop calling it that, lol. What's a dog bone? What's a dog bone? Shirtless Woodman? Shirtless Woodman ain't no dog bone. Is there any movie that makes you particularly emotional? Nightmare Before Christmas makes me emotional. Like, a wide range of emotions, frankly. It's got great music in it, and I like the storyline, and I identify with it, I guess, to a certain extent. Jack Skellington is definitely an ENTP. Although it's not something I've really thought about a lot. You know, most of the time it's a visit type. People give type police. You have pictures of me putting him in handcuffs. We'll see what happens after that. My daughter was Sally for Halloween. Sally from, oh yeah, that's great. That was a good costume idea. Sally. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. That's a good song. Sally's Lament. It's a good one. Jeebus says, hi, Zandy. Zandy, Jeebus has greeted you. Quit quivering in absolute just ecstasy and return his greeting with a hi. A casual hi will be fine. What? That's a dog bone. Oh, you mean shirtless woman, or possibly you're talking about limbless action figure. Limbless action figure. He can't really talk in a mouth.
Yes, you can.
Oh, he can?
Yes, you can. You just stand there and it works just fine.
Just stand there and it works just fine.
Well, you get your head there farther and you take something in your mouth.
And then what?
And then you tell the others that you're working hard and it's going to be just fine.
Right. Pretty straightforward. Tell the others that you're working hard and it's going to be just fine. ENTPs are Halloween. I think ENTPs are Jack Skellington. Jack Skellington's an ENTP. It's like he had a perfectly good gig going on there in Halloween Town. He's the king of Halloween Town. He's running the show in there. It's the kookiest of all the holidays, so he could get away with murder. And what does he want to do all of a sudden? Well, yeah, but I'm bored of this now. I want to go make Christmas instead. And he tries to get everybody on board, but everybody's interpreting it their own way. And he's just like, well, my NI's ignoring, so good enough. Their presence, I guess, it's good enough. Like they're going to attack people.
You don't want the other people just to stand all afternoon. So here.
I don't want, oh, thanks. Wow, look at that. Here you go. I don't want this, though. I don't want it, though. Do you want it?
Okay.
There you go.
I like it. But I'm not going to get it. Don't worry.
All right, it's a textbook story of an ENTP that lets their NE run away with them, and it's NI ignoring,
had this nice
and of course, somehow manages to save the day at the last second, because not just because there needs to be, but also because it's a movie, of course. But there is that quality as well that ENTPs like to step right at the edge of the cliff and then dance back. She could be an INFJ. You're right, Sinjin. She very well could. That's a good point. Makes a lot of sense. You get the sense that even at the end, Jack doesn't quite fully understand that, just how untethered he is without her, You're welcome for the last video, Jeebus. You are my favorite Bjorn.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wait till you see what I got this time. This is sort of a
Agreed trying to steal Christmas the way it ended Sally's INFJ 100%. She's even got INFJ eyes, right? She's got those big, these kind of eyes. Mama, 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 mama.
I think you'll like this better.
Mama, mama,
I
mama.
think you'll like this better.
Oh, you think I like this better, huh?
Yeah.
Mary Poppins returns. Where has she
Yeah.
gone away to? Where had she gone away to?
They put
Bangkok.
they put her thing over that because they know that she's gonna come down and
Who knew she was that perverted? The Ballad of Woodman and Sally, limbless action figures lament. Indeed. I would also say that, like, in that movie, Santa is very STJ, I guess you'd say. The mayor's an ENFJ for sure. The sad face, happy face mayor guy with his head turns around one direction and the other direction, depending on whether it's good news or bad news. And it's all just emotive display.
well, I'll tell you what, if you don't lose it, I'll let you see this thing and then you don't have to go get it. This is another one. Everybody has to leave it over there.
Okay, I don't want to leave it over here. I'll put it over here.
Oh, you can put it right over there.
Right
That's
over
fine.
there is good, yes. Okay, she is his ignored NI in a way. Yeah, she is. And that's what duality is supposed to do in general, is provide you that kind of complement. Now, INFJs and ENTPs aren't duals, but regardless, there's a certain complementariness to INFJs and ENTPs as well. It's just that what they don't show you is after the movie, after Sally and Jack get together and they're married for a while, there's just this seeming growing disconnect because the ENTP can't find the authenticity seeking in the INFJ in an earthy enough fashion, and the INFJ can't find the meaningful translation of ideation to concretization by SE, and they gradually just become despondent and sick of each other until they get divorced and have to share custody of their 3-year-old and ship them back and forth across Halloween Town. Of course, the vampire bats are always chasing them around, bullying their child. It's horrible. The Major? Who's the Major? I don't know who the Major is. Eric, did you know that smoking is bad? Smoking? Bad? This?
Ah,
You mean bad for the blues? Bad
I'm
for
glad to know about this because now I don't
ill
have it.
content? Bad for the forces of evil?
No, this is good.
Oh, mayor. You think the mayor is an ESFP? It could be very demonstrative FE, I guess, I like these subliminal messages at Sinjin.
I think you'd really like this.
Oh, so that was, you know what? I got to call you out on this one, Sinjin. That message was inadequately subliminal to be called subliminal message. Simply putting parentheses around something does not make it subliminal, okay? I wish it were that easy.
Well, it is on one thing
I got to use my mom to drop in my subliminal messages.
because we've had a whole bunch of them going right immediately out.
So, I mean, this is my way of trying to convince you to go out to dinner, obviously. I've dropped that subliminal message into the data stream. Recent studies have shown some possible effects to lungs and
I have to
heart.
look a little bit, not a lot, just a little.
Are you talking about how cigarettes strengthen the lungs and heart? I know, I've heard about that. It's remarkable. You wouldn't think that the lungs would need to have an addition of smoke. You think that in their natural state, they'd probably have adequate nutrition within them. But it turns out that, like, when I went to the doctor last time, he said, I still, despite all my smoking, have a distinct deficiency in tar. I'm doing the best I can, I said, What do you want me to do? Smoke 3 packs a day? You're right, Sinjin. Actually, That's exactly right. I wouldn't have read it because it had parentheses around it. See, now your trick's ruined, though. Now it's ruined. 'Cause I have an open system. I'm self-learning. That's pretty tricky. That's pretty INFJ smooth of you there. That's totally correct. I would not have read it. But see, I don't know if I would have subliminally
Well,
absorbed
we
it
can always
either.
go back a little bit. I did that once. I couldn't. I thought, uh-oh.
Senjin is a strong Japanese name. What's a weak Japanese name? Thin chin? ENTP plus INFJ equals what type of kid? I have no idea because my parents are ESTJ and ISFJ and they had ENTP kids, so it beats the shit out of me. I have no idea where type come from. Recent studies have shown some possible effects. It would be funny if they made an ISTJ. Lol. Oh, I just knew a guy who smokes. He died. That is my SI. Well, we should trust your SI for sure. There's a book called The Health Benefits of Smoking that isn't a parody. Well, I'm sure it isn't. I mean, some of the health benefits of smoking are gives your hands something to do when you're bored, gives your lungs something to chew on when the rest of you is doing other things, helps encourage a healthy cough that clears out the lungs periodically. You can't achieve true whimsy without a tea party. Okay, look, it's true that you can't achieve maximal whimsy without a tea party, but there are other modalities of whimsy that can attain full whimsitude without actually having a tea party. It's not true that you're inadequately whimsical simply because you're not having a tea party. Let's put it that way. So I get what you're saying, but I think you're coming across as a bit of an ideologue here. You know, there's more to whimsy than tea. There's more to whimsy than tea parties. There are also ponies. Now, granted, we don't have any ponies here. I'm not saying we have ponies, okay? Don't get me wrong. If we had ponies, that would be another story, but we don't. But I'm just saying there are things that are whimsical besides tea parties, which include ponies. So I don't think anybody's going to dispute that if we had enough ponies, we could account for the lack of a tea party. Now, who's got a shit ton of ponies? Matthew, you must have 5 or 6 ponies. You live in Connecticut. Zandy, aren't you from like Fresno or something? You must have hundreds of ponies. I know them buck ponies in Fresno. It's like all pony all the time. Goats are fun.
It's really good. It's got tons of stuff on it. This best picture. They're all lined up.
Goats will work great if we dress them up as ponies. Who has a pony costume that'll fit a goat? You only have 4 ponies. Who has some peonies? They're kind of flower. Maybe if we cross a goat with a peony, we'll get a pony.
Give them some money that they can eat.
If Vermin Supreme wins the presidency, I'll have 5 ponies. Well, Vermin Supreme's not going to win the presidency because he's not serious. He's an ENFP. I'm an ENTP. I'm actually going to win the presidency. How does Eric's mom feel about secondhand smoke? Well, I think her true core self is telling us how she feels about it, because she doesn't care at all. Maybe a couple years ago, she would have made a fuss about it, but, you know, I'm helping. I'm helping us all.
Things in this are so good.
I said you had long lungs attained by smoking, by weed or cigs, among other air quality freaking things.
I personally think.
I have huge lungs.
Yes, we could just get.
Oh,
is that you?
Is host Eric still eating ESTP crow over Rick Benson? What does that mean? That Rick Benson schooled me? Rick Benson's always schooling me. Nothing I can do about it. He's my bully.
Well, they're saying here, and this is good. They're saying.
I don't think so either, Sinjin. I don't think so either.
They go out and they say, even my stories have stories. So that was all.
Sheila, you're not allergic to smoke. No.
And then this next one.
Those were coincidences.
This one. You might be happy with this. I have to ask him if it's okay if I tear this one.
See, those are fucking lungs right there.
Ooh, his second.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I am, of course, a Native American. And you may or may not be aware, back when I was hanging out with my tribe on the plains, they called me the Scout because of my amazing eyesight. I could see whatever prey we wanted to go hunt down with our bows and arrows. I could see it. I'd spot it. I'd say, there it is. We'd go get it. We'd eat it. We'd kill it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter how good your eyesight is because, like, one time our tribe was starving in the middle of winter. Papoose is screaming in the teepees, and I go outside and I sight a buffalo. But it's 300 miles away.
This is the
It's
one
just demoralizing, frankly.
that's the only one close to you, but it's good.
This one,
And
yeah.
you can skip one and go to the next one.
Okay, we'll do that, Mom. Thank you. Anyway, that wasn't my only superpower. Okay, they call me a Scout or a Pony Frolic. That's true. Frolicking Pone or P-Frol. They used to call me down in the dark, the more
Oh.
disreputable parts of the reservation.
This guy was her.
So
person.
I also had super hearing, but here's the thing about super hearing you may not be aware of.
St. Peter's bacon.
When you can have super hearing,
I know.
everything is too fucking loud. Way too loud. So I was happy enough to lose that.
And they're not always.
Thank you. That was an excerpt from my famous video, Native American Eric's Heritage, whatever it's called. Hey, bro, smoke some weed, man, says Milan. Hey, bro. All right, so there aren't really very many questions here in the live chat today. There's a lot of whimsy and not a lot of question and answering going on. Some people may be frustrated by the lack of informative content. So here's some informative content. Man. There. Now you know more about cognitive functions. That's important. You're Native American because of the Woodman. Native American, shirtless Woodman is not a Native American. He's a post-Civil War Reconstruction era emancipated African American living in, I think, Indiana or something. C.S. Joseph, true Indian name is Rageous Raccoon.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm having a terrible trouble. All I can see is black.
Is the girl formerly known as female ESTP still talking to you guys? I don't know who female ESTP is. Are you talking about female ENTP? Brittany? I mean, Brittany has a long history with this channel of lots of troublemaking and craziness. Are you triple feminine like C.S. Joseph? No, I'm neither. I'm not any such thing. I'm just a regular old ENTP. Just a regular old ENTP. That's what I am, you see. Oh, Joel Nathan Henry, that's not what I was saying. I don't want to get into the whole Britney saga because it's so enormous of a saga, frankly. And well, don't let me. It doesn't matter if you're kidding because you hurt my feelings, and now I'm. What is that emotion I'm feeling? What is the emotion you feel when someone hurts your feelings? What's that emotion called? Petulant? Hurt? Petulant? Upset? Why do I say petulant and everybody says hurt? I guess because when other people's feelings are hurt, I think they're being petulant because they're not being logical or something. Because hurt is gay. Thank you, Hambone. Thank you. I'm leaning towards your camp on that one. I just think it's funny that everybody says hurt, and to me, the first word that comes to mind is petulant because hurt is giving them credit, and petulant is just taking away any credit from them. Hey, Becky, how you doing? It's Becky, everybody. She doesn't know how to spell hi. Tell me the Brittany saga, Eric. Once upon a time, there was this lady named Brittany, and she was a kooky kook. She came down and stopped at our house without telling us she was coming and knocked on the door. And we're like, what the fuck? You got an abscess on your butt. You got an abscess on your butt. You better lance that shit. Better lance that shit. Better lance that abscess on your butt. Because you complicate the emotion, overthink it. You're out of commission for a few days because you got an abscess on your butt. That's funny. Well, we're making do without you. I would say, I might also declare a lot of emotional things like petulant, pouty, fussy, difficult, uncooperative, lots of other dismissal things. No pus yet. Aw. You got an ultrasound on your butt abscess? Jesus Christ, woman. Your country gives away too much free health care. Rub some dirt on it. Man up. I think it's an underrated topic about how search engines organize information, and also if revisionist histories and questioning and telling of events is banned on sites that people aren't even reading paper. Pop that ass, ketchup parts. Cry, baby.
About Charles Ives, but now the minute I see them, in come those. Because I thought that was
well, I mean, the thing is, look, there's lots of revisionist histories and questioning of events going on all the time. There's a movement amongst some people who I guess see themselves as custodians of something to restore what was once a clear distinction between legitimate news and what was called like the tabloids, right? So it used to be that the news was divided into newspapers, TV news, and tabloids. And tabloids were considered not real news. Well, with the internet, there became a certain blurring of that. And there's a certain movement amongst people with decision-making power, I guess, to reinstate that distinction. That serves democracy not well at all for the citizenry to believe a bunch of hokum about stuff that just doesn't withstand any muster, and so we ought not see those kind of views perpetrated, or we ought not encourage them in some sense. But the problem with it is the marketplace of ideas will take care of all that shit. It doesn't withstand muster, but it does. The problem is some of them are not quite so clear cut, and usually the people who want it to be clear cut are really quite dismissive of stuff that they shouldn't be quite dismissive of. And so, I get what you're saying, but you got to remember that the internet is not structured like that. You got to recall that it's this amazing, beautiful reality whereby, unlike the real world, there's infinite amount of space, basically, and you can stake out a claim of some space of it for almost no money. Now, how will people find you? All that kind of stuff, whatever. Well, those are concerns, but don't forget the basic reality of it. Here we are talking about it right now on YouTube, a major platform. And Matthew's voicing his concerns about some sort of, I don't know, information suppressing conspiracy. And that's something that gets discussed. I don't like the idea of censorship at all. Believe me, I'm all for openness of information.
Well, this guy
But I
is good.
I don't think that private platforms like this that make decisions about content, what kind of content they want on it, you know. Well,
If you want to hear a little bit more, I can pass it over.
that's okay, Mom. Thank you, though. Zandy is the toughest of cookies. Sheila's a tough cookie, but have high FI years of the cruel world. Eric, I fell asleep in a pier in last night.
Yes. But
Really?
like
What were
her
you doing
very,
there?
very much.
Were you chilling with the homies? I'm not saying these companies shouldn't be able to do it. I'm just saying we have to consider. Jeremy woke me up. Becky, how are our views being shaped by what we're able to entertain and we don't realize? I'm sad that you aren't frolicking in the woods. I'm frolicking in my metaphorical woods. I hope Eric's channel slowly morphs into something that resembles Alex Jones's channel. Why? Problem here is the Brandolini principle is basically, I don't know what the Brandolini principle is. That's new for me. I have to Google it. Brandolini principle, huh? Let's search Google for that.
If they put this in twice and maybe a third, well, we'll just toss it in.
The amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude bigger than to produce it.
Yeah.
That's a good principle. I would say it's not necessarily the case. The thing is, it assumes that bullshit is static, and it forgets that it's an action, not an object.
But they're all doing the right stuff now.
Lots of NSAIDs, Tylenol, and antibiotics. Yes, Andy, I'm moving around today. Well,
It will come one time and next time, and it's all right. And
what causes an abscess anyway? A butt abscess? Nobody knows. Just decides to grow there one day. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that principle. It's like in any individual instance, if somebody's bringing bullshit, it doesn't necessarily take more effort to refute it or bat it down than it does for them to put it up. A lot of times they just ask a question, like in a comment, for example, and they won't respond. That solves that, you know.
Where is he? Is he up there?
So the thing is, of course, context matters a lot. It's true that to logically refute is often easy, but rhetorically insufficient if you're dealing with an object. If you're dealing with a person, it's a different matter because you've got FE on your side then as well. So most sort of engagements with ideas are engagements between people. Few of them are news articles that are bullshit, for example. I mean, I'm sure a fair number of those exist, and there's a reason to think that it's a good idea to make clear distinction between those that are at least intended to be non-bullshit and those that are intended to be bullshit. But the thing is, yes, the internet makes BS an object, so to speak, which is to say, it's there. If there's some bullshit put up there, it's there forever. But also, remember, things go across laterally. So it's like, let's say somebody puts some piece of bullshit up as a comment that I respond to it in short order and dismantle it. If the same principle applies to some other piece of bullshit, if they're a TI type, they'll take away the experience from that learning and apply that argument appropriately. I suspect that to the extent that I have an impact in the world, it's because of that. It's because of my talking about how to respond to things better, or, like just generally responding to things well, because I know from my own experience that I copy other people's arguments whenever I can. Anytime I hear an argument that I haven't thought of before or haven't encountered before or whatever, and it's a good argument, it's mine now. So I'm assuming everybody else does some degree of the same thing. So to the extent that I believe I have any positive net impact on the world, I would say it mostly comes from engaging in proper discourse as a model in general. I mean, I'm human, of course, but like in terms of dealing with political things in detached fashion and with certain meta rationalism, because it wins, and people like to win. It's not for any more noble reason than that. Someone told my grandfather that drinking pee would cure his kidney problems, and he believed it. Did it cure his kidney problems? Sheila, what if you weren't dying per se, but just had regular non-dying cancer? If you had regular non-dying cancer, Sheila, would you be willing to give it a try? What are we asking her to try? Anal? I had skin cancer, but it got cut out. And okay. With a knife. Your urine has the same pH as your body. Some people believe it's really good for you, helps grow back hair, and so forth. Well,
I'll just give you a quick
I want to know too. It's sterile, good for you. Why not drink nothing but people's urine all day?
all you guys are good.
What do you call the fourth slot function?
But what's that
I usually
one
call
that
it the fourth slot function.
The hand is off
Or
on the left.
that's over here, Mom. See?
Oh,
See it?
is it still alive?
It's not. It was never alive. It's just.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be nice. I can
You
yell
don't,
at it.
you don't have to. You can yell at the hand if you want, Mom.
Okay.
Did Vera Bossa die
See,
of
I
anal
don't have
cancer?
to do.
I think Vera Bossa's still alive.
I
Yes.
don't have to take a lot of money because I do our little bit of. If we want to eat, we just put it in our mouth and we go, and it works.
Most celebrities actually do die of anal cancer, but their publicists always say some other kind of cancer. Because, being a celebrity is a well-known cause of anal cancer. I gotta look up fucking Farrah Fawcett. That's how rumors get started, okay? That's how rumors get started. You got me thinking she's died of anal cancer. That's ridiculous. She didn't die of anal cancer, I'm sure. If you're right, I'm going to be. She died of anal cancer! Oh my God. Wow. You weren't shitting me. It's not a rumor. Wikipedia says. It was technically colon was right at the rectum. It said, it's Wikipedia article says anal cancer. It doesn't say colon cancer. It's like you rarely get that. You rarely see somebody graduate from colon cancer to anal cancer. People use urine as a skin treatment to keep other people away from their skin. Jesus Christ, dude, you stink like piss.
I think that's.
It's my new skin treatment.
Oh,
I asked my neighbors and friends to contribute jars of urine, which I pour all over myself.
Several of us have been standing.
That's a great idea. You want my poop too? You're gonna put that on there. Bat poop. Why bat? Why go Little League? Why not person poop? Human poop. Have you considered that, Zandy? I will mail you some poop, and you can use it as a mask on your face. Doesn't that sound fun? Yeah, it tightens and revigorates the skin. It rejuvenates and reinvigorates the skin. Unbelievable. The things that people do are so nutty. Like those people who try to give their children chicken pox intentionally by getting them infected lollipops. Like, oh my God, what are you fucking thinking? I bet, Jeebus, you pee actual goals. So we've discussed this before, I believe. That's how come you live in a mansion. You collect your own pee. It's full of actual gold. Of course, the only reason is because you eat so much gold. You drink so much molten gold that it comprises much of the liquid in your system. It's an expensive habit, but you're addicted to it. Back in the 70s, our parents brought us to other kids that had chicken pox. Right. That's what my parents did too. I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but I got it. Everybody got it. John Penny slept over at my house when I was coming down with it, and then he got it.
Well, I think they ought to be.
It was pretty awful, frankly.
Well,
You're going to look so beautiful. You know what? Just let that mask dry there. Go out in the hot sun once you put it on and let it dry. It will attract some flies. That's fine. They're there to help tighten and reinvigorate your skin. Okay? Just let them do their busy work that they have to do with their little fingers. Little fly fingers will peel back your wrinkles so you'll look less wrinkly. You know, you think this is wrinkly? You should have seen me before I did my poop mask. I had 5 times as many wrinkles. Jeebus, Zandy can't go to school. She's busy packing my poop on her face right now. I love how you always remember kids' names and you use their full name. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, that kid. Right. Well, that's SI for you.
It's called eating.
John Penny. No, I'm not stupid, Zandy. Just rebellious. Okay? That's what's rebellious about it. That's why you are a rebel. You at your own self. That's rebellious. I agree, Karen. There are not enough potty humor in the actual world when you're going about talking to people. Too few of them reference defecation. Too few of them reference urination. Is the police ever catching any jerkum dealers? Jinkum dealers. What's a jinkum dealer? I don't know. I don't know what a jinkum dealer is.
I don't either. What you do is you stop there and then you go up and ask.
There you go.
Simple as that. And if they're not nice, just say, I'm going to go to the main place. I'm going to tell them what I just did.
Are you?
No, I'm not going to. But in the time that then they know.
Indeed. Wise words, wise words. We should always listen to our elders because they speak so many wise words and they're always right. Can we pull over Adventures of an ENFP? I mean, she might be an ENFP, but she needs to be investigated anyway. You want me to pull her over and pat her down?
This is much longer than she is. And I think this one is in the house or something.
I'm going to pat you. Sir, come over here, please. I need to pat you. You're going to pat me? Yes. Going to pat you down, sir. Okay, so why are you patting me down instead of just patting me? It seems like you're pretty much just patting me. Well, we're starting at the top and working our way down. And why are you patting me? And do you enjoy patting? We love it. We fucking cannot get enough patting. Hey, Bob, get over here and pat this guy. Give him a good pat. Right here. Oh, yeah, it's good. He's really, really patable. Take a pat. Hey, Pat, get over here. Pat this guy. I told you to call me Patrick. That's 3 cops pulling me over. That's what I call that scene. Look, the Supreme Court said we can pat you. So, we're going to pat the living fuck out of you.
Sorry about that.
Officer Pat McGroin. I think it's Pat DeGroin. Patrick DeGroin is part of the patting unit. the Paddington PD's
Sorry
patting
about that.
unit.
Every time I turn around, it does that.
When you're an elite officer in Paddington, the city of Paddington, you can join their elite patting unit,
Oh, well, thank you. If I can find my, there it is. There's that.
including
There's that.
Sergeant Patrick DeGroin. We're here. We're ready to pat.
You know what?
Men, get your hands out.
What we were really doing was just to lower off all those things off.
Get patting.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, 12th grade, please line up over here. The officers are here to pat everybody. Oh, fuck. Do we have to get patted? Yes, everybody has to get patted. Okay, so that's enough about patting. No, it's very important, I know.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, we're patting.
Oh, just patting. Okay,
Just
that's
patting,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
We're patting things. Okay, this is the most off-point live stream I've ever done, I think. It's just complete random nonsense. Nobody's even asking me any questions. Sometimes people ask me a lot of questions, and I got shit to answer. But instead, we're just making poo-poo and pee-pee jokes. Now, that's okay, because it is fitting for the title. If you remember the title of this video, it's something about Whimsy. Eric's mom is amazing. She is amazing. She does roll with whatever nonsense is happening. That's true. And you know what? She's still the same mom she's always been, in the sense that she spends a lot of time affirming me. It doesn't mean, it's not in reference to anything anymore, but she'll still affirm me all the time. You know, like, we'll be driving along and she'll be complaining about somebody. But not you. You're wonderful. You're a good person. You're blah, blah, blah. And I just, like, that's how it was in my childhood too. And she'll frequently tell me,
Quiet, you could have this lady.
it's so
here, but-
wonderful of you to do this, you know, or you're so good at that. And I won't even be about anything. She just say that. Just FE, you know. Let's see. I hate pat downs. One time I went for a jogging sweats with no undies. One time I pat down by a female cop. She blushed the hell out of it. I was like, she was going to faint. That sounds fun. I would love to get patted down in my dangle pants by a female cop, just because it would be hilarious. You want to pat me down? You want to pat me right now?
This says nobility.
So let me get this straight.
Of their
This lady cop has come to just tell me that by due process of law, she's going to engage in a patting of me? All right, lady. Get your hands out and you just pat away. You just pat your little heart out. I'm questioning about the questioning question to question this. What do you think about that? Well, it's a query, I'd say, mostly. Might be a bit of a querulous one at that. But as far as questionings go, amongst questioners, your question is adequately questioning the question at hand, for sure, thus manifesting adequately as a query. Does that clear things up? What's the deal with your baby Becky? Who's my baby Becky? Not my baby Becky. That's somebody else's baby Becky. What makes something whimsical? Well, it could be a lot of things. It could be fairy dust. Could be sparkles. Could be rainbows. Could be doilies. Could be a little guy or a little gal. It's full of whimsy. Could be something that's rural. Could be something that's shabby chic, right? What we know is that it's whimsical. It looks beautiful. That's the thing. It's fun. It's delightful. It's whimsical. It's visible. Why are my walls teal? Why aren't your walls teal? Because I'm not done with my soundproofing of the walls. And that's the middle layer. On top of that goes this black pad thing. So I get more soundproofing in here. You know. Sinjin, I'm going to agree with you. She's a little bit questionable. I'm questioning whether her query really questioned my question at all, if it was even questioning anything. Can you explain the difference between a knower versus a deliberator more? Knowers know and deliberators deliberate every time. It's like, it's the difference between me and Ken. I'm an action type first and deliberation second. So I want to enter into an experience open to whatever, not necessarily having any clear indication of what kind of experience it's going to be. But to the extent that I have elements I can know about or should know about or think about ahead of time, I want to be able to think about those ahead of time and have those not change when I take action into the situation. And vice versa for a knower. A knower is somebody who wants to know ahead of time what the situation is, all the things that are static about it, and rely therefore on their interface function to engage responsibly in the moment via knowing rather than deliberating. Deliberating means you're making a decision about shit as you're hearing it. Knowing means the decision's already been made. It's already an object in your head with the status it's defined. Motherfucker! I hate these things. These little flies come in here. They want to disrespect me by flying in my face. I'm like, fuck no. I'm gonna burn your ass like that. And then I did try to, but I missed it. I always miss. Trying to get typology talk going. Oh, thanks, name here. I appreciate that. I was typed as an ENFP, and I just want to say I so appreciated your ENFP video from a while back where you said our type is more than silliness and bubblegum. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you. Grateful for Disney. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say all that. It's one of the things I've learned over the course of the channel is that it's much better on all fronts for me to frame things in a positive light that basically treats the people who are going to view it with respect and understands that, you know, type is close to a person's ontology in a lot of ways, and that if you're going to talk about those things, either be openly joking or talk about them seriously. Because early on in my video making career, I was much more salty about a lot of things and much more dismissive and just much more limited in my own ontology and not able to see the complexity and reality of the world because I was locked in my own function biases, you know. But the channel's helped me to understand things more clearly. And one of the things that's helped a lot is having people tell me shit like that when I'm making videos that are a little bit more moist or vulnerable or intentionally like good in its thinking rather than just random. Because sometimes I can try to be attentive to more of the moral or, you know, personal experience elements, and sometimes I can be less so. When I do try it, well, it's also a matter of writing. So if I write out a video, a lot of times it'll come out better. Some of the ones that I've written out before, like INFP nurtures fragile ward, or I think I wrote out maybe ENFP nothing wrong with you as well. I'm not sure, but those ones seem to have more legs, and I get more things. INFJ and INFP are actually nicer, but no one notices. Well, they may be nicer, but they don't make people feel as good about themselves. So, you know.
Well, the thing that's interesting of them
FI DOMs will
is
notice.
they're still wearing the clothes. They walk out and it looks like it, bing.
I see.
So Now these, like this, that's what they were trying to do up there. This is what they should.
What function is best for playing taboo? I don't know what taboo is. What is SI? SI is a knowing function that knows from memory and experience. It remembers experiences, and to some degree or another, depending on where NI is, may also retain the lessons, general lessons. Somebody like my dad, he always draws from experience. And so if you're talking about when we went to go like rent a car one time, he told us that we should go to this other car rental place because that's the one he uses, and he's gotten good service from them. And he used to use Hertz, but now he switched over to this one and it's better. And blah, 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 blah. So it's funny the extent to which your SI tool users are NI. They don't take lessons away from things. They don't understand things that way. They're always in their experience and referencing that. And
I'm glad you're doing that. I think that's hard on them.
It's a perfectly reasonable way to go through life understanding things, but it's like, well, I'll tell you, here's an example of SI and dominant slot that's weird and how it's prescient or magic in its own way. So at some point yesterday, our kitten Normal had been gone for, I don't know, most of the night or something. And there's nothing abnormal about him disappearing for stretches of time. He is like a cat. He's an outdoor, indoor cat. He comes and goes as he pleases. And sometimes he's gone for a while, but after he had not been seen by Kim for a certain period of time, she has in her head like an understanding of the cat's routines, like where they normally are during certain times of the day and how they're feeling and stuff like that. She'll tell me that one of the cats isn't feeling well, for example, a lot of times. But in this case, she's like, I'm worried something happened to Normal. And I'm like, Kim, I mean, we just saw him yesterday. He's often disappears like this. She's like, no, something happened to him. And we haven't seen him since. I think she's right. I think something happened to him.
They can't catch each
How does she know this? Like, within 6 hours of him disappearing. She's like reading the other cat's body language. And I mean, it's so strange.
No, it's not.
The magic of it, And she did the same thing with Schmitty Rensel. When Schmitty Rensel died, she knew right away something happened to Schmitty Rensel because he wasn't where he would normally. And she loved that cat beyond all measure. That cat was a big stuffed animal. She used to say to the cat, like, I know I love you so much. You're like a stuffed animal come to life. ISFJs are strange creatures. They really are.
Yeah, and what I think they almost help us because we can go, or if we say no, and get the other people, then we've got the whole thing for the rest. They do it differently almost every week.
Jeebus, you're not, and I don't think you're any of those things, Jeebus. I don't think you're an INFJ, I don't think you're an INFP, and I don't think you're an INTJ.
He's good.
Tests are nothing more but a gateway into typology. You mean nothing more than. So that's a confirmation, smart guy. 3 different results is not a confirmation, Joel. Jeebus is ESFP. I don't think Jeebus is an ESFP. I think Jeebus is not an ESFP. Jeebus, don't take me serious even when I am. And always take me serious even when I'm not. All right? But even more so, take me seriously. Because that's an adverb. True percentage of intuitives, 10%. I'd say not 25. Maybe 12, 15%. And that's keeping in mind that I'm inclined towards thinking there are more intuitives than there are because I see them all the time around here. This is an intuitive magnet of sorts. In fact, I was thinking when I want to advertise next, I was thinking about getting a billboard here in Los Angeles. There's this there are these digital billboards that you can get, a limited amount of time on it. You don't have to have the whole billboard all day long, and it's pretty cheap. It's pretty affordable to get, some shitty hours on the billboard.
Not on mine, it isn't.
I was thinking if I were gonna advertise, it would just say, "Are you intuitive?" ? And then have the URL, or YouTube talking with famous people.
And then eventually the time will come and you can't do anything.
Is that true, Mom? The time's gonna come when I can't do anything?
No, not that, but you already do it ahead of time. You've got it.
I already do it ahead of time, huh?
Yeah, you're fine and you're good and you're going to be just fine.
Hey, LJ, how are you?
Is that rain again out there?
No, it's not rain, Mom. It's a warm, sunny day today. I'm about ready to take the jacket off. After all, somebody did ask me to take my clothes off in this thing. I'm not going to do that, but
yeah, I know.
I will take the jacket off.
Yes.
You're not dead.
I know, because one time it was before
See?
this, I was sitting down.
I told you guys. LJ's not dead.
Yeah, I know, and
I know.
And he did it, and the next thing I knew, he had the whole thing.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's taunting you guys. I'm just teasing you with my shirt like this. So it's just covering up my boobs. You can see the rest of my chest. Hey, look at me. I've got boobs. That's what chicks do all the time. That's how chicks do it.
Do that because
you'd think they wouldn't, but they do.
And it's cold.
They're overweight. It's cold, and yeah, I look good in my crop top though. I got the midriff for it. Okay, I got a kind of midriff that can handle a crop top and Daisy Dukes. Talking with bubes. With population spread of NS, does the intuitive need the sensor more or vice versa in a dual relationship? I mean, I think the sensor it depends on the relationship. It really depends on who's more healthy. The unhealthy one needs the healthy one more, regardless of any relationship. If it's a relationship that's going to last or last for any stretch of time, the unhealthy one needs the healthy one more. And the unhealthy one is potentially a risk to the healthy one. But I took on much more of a project than I expected to when I got with Kimberly. Because as an ISFJ, she doesn't reveal damage in the ways that one would expect necessarily. And, are you and DSP going to collaborate on anything? I doubt it. I don't think DSP wants to come within 100 yards of me, frankly. I might ask him a question. That wouldn't end well. I do. I look just like Delilah with my shirt like that. So I need big old boobs here too. There must be one INFJ for 8 ESTPs. Good reason to advocate polygamy. I would suggest that there are very few. I would suspect that this is not even a suspicion. This is just a notion that I'm throwing out there. But it could be that either it gets the lower percentage, the more metaphysical types, and higher percentages goes down to more physical types. Or it could be even that at the very ends of the most metaphysical and the most physical types are the rarest, and then it gets like this in the middle. But I think it would be more likely the first way than the second. Do you think because of the current social climate, polygamy will be legal in America for the next 10 years? It's not illegal now. The only thing about it is that you can't get legally married to more than one person. But legal marriage is simply a tax status. That's all it is. It's not, had nothing to do with your relationship with the people. I'm building a harem. Any ladies who want to apply, hit me up. Mom, Taylor's establishing a harem. You down?
Pardon?
Are you down to join Taylor's harem?
Sure, I mean, I'm fine. It's now, what's the time now? I put mine down someplace and I can't find it.
It's 2:20. Looks like you got to take her, Taylor.
Yeah, that's not too bad because
Sure. Oh, she needs to apply. Okay. All right. Well, send me an application form. I'll forward it on to her. You're down for a commune. Call you when the harem dissolves. Harems don't last very long. They've got high volatility as a system equilibrium because bitches be crazy. Oh, not all applicants are approved. I see.
I don't know whose these are. It may not be ours.
Well, for some applicants, they get called to audition, probably, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
And
that's
other applicants don't get thus called.
That's exactly what I even have that feeling.
I can't handle more than one of them for sure. Kimberly is both hands and my arms full already. I can't handle any more crazy woman stuff. She's got buckets and buckets of it for me already. So lovable though she is, and lovable though that is, even in its maximal amounts that I sometimes get it in, that's all I need. It's more than my RDA. All right. RDA. That's not Sandy, it's Zandy. Okay, you corrected yourself. Well, I'll tell you this, Taylor. Zandy has excellent taste in champagne flutes. She sent Kimberly and I a pair of champagne flutes, and Kimberly was very pleased with them. She liked them a lot. So much so that when we went to return them, because they both said the same thing on them, she insisted I return them and get new ones of the same ones that were right, rather than just credit or something, because she actually wanted those champagne flutes.
I didn't know that till you walked in today. That I'm glad you are, because now you're just like the rest of us here.
Well, Zandy, when Zandy's part of your harem, Taylor, she can be the one in charge of picking out which champagne flutes you buy.
I know, she helps so much. She'll do anything.
That's a pretty prestigious position, I think, in your harem. Joey Joe Shabadoo says, Sheila, I'm in. You're telling Sheila you're into Taylor's harem? Joey Joe Shabadoo? Well, it looks like you got a second applicant there. Joey Joe Shabadoo is gonna make the application as well. Sheila is gonna show you. She's gonna apply by doing a 40-foot high dive from her barn into a bucket of man seed. Wow, that is zeal right there. That is really one in. What type is Norm McDonald? I don't know. My mom might be out of the demographic. Okay, well, she's been known to commit to things and then change her mind 5 seconds later, so she probably wasn't serious. What type is Alex Jones? You asked that yesterday and I ignored the question, huh? I think he's an ENFJ. That's what I think. What is Ronald McDonald? I'd say ENFJ also.
Could I ask him a question? Because you've been doing this 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay, well,
Go ahead.
okay, I'm going to just put it down.
Put it down over there. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, leave it.
All right, so what's your question, Mom?
Well, just keep going and make sure that you've got all your good things, and if you've got the right thing, like yours is darker, but that's what you can do. And then afterwards, usually there's a get together with the ones there by the
There is a get together. It's true.
I think, but I'm not sure that's true. But
It's true. There'll be a get together.
because she's been doing it for a long time.
It's because you know why, Mom?
No, I don't.
It's because California knows how to party. That's why.
Gross.
Gross. Mom. Alex Jones could be an ESFP with demonstrative FE. Yeah, he could be. Yeah, that's true. Could be an ESFP. He makes clearly contrafactual statements as though they were true, which is something that ESFPs might do. As an ENFP, I'm dating an ENTP. Any advice? Break up right now. That's my advice for you. I'm sorry, Grateful for Disney. You seem like a wonderful human being. And
Yes.
I'm sure you're
Any
lovely.
woman will tell you
And
that.
any man would be happy to be with you. However, I want to stress that will never last because TI tool function and FI tool function are like hatred and hatred meeting at the park to have a hate fest with a fist fight in the middle. It'll last for 2 weeks before you realize that you cannot talk to each other for shit. Anytime you disagree, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to kill this person. They are talking exactly wrong. So, Jordan, Eric will meet with you if you send me money.
There.
Taylor.
That's better.
Taylor. Will you stop SEing? You see how Taylor's SEing all the time? These things he's doing. He's kicking the anthill. And everybody's scurrying about, including me. It's like, hey, I'm trying to ideate. We're playing pretend, Taylor. You don't know how to play pretend right because you're a censor. Gosh, you're so mean. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I really think an ENFP ENTP relationship is ill-advised because for example, as an ENFP, you're probably a commie. As an ENTP, your boyfriend's probably a libertarian. Why? Because you don't get that your feelings shouldn't be used to make political decisions, and he does.
If I said no, we're not going to use this.
So that's going to be a conflict. You could fight about politics. You probably have fun in bed, though. I'm sure with all that NE. It's like you're dressed up as a goat, and he's dressed up in a hot dog on a stick costume, and you're playing Churn the Lemonade. What do you feel you get out of doing videos like this and you want to be accomplished because of your contribution? In other words, with motivation, you want to see the results of you. This is just me playing, frankly. It's when I'm feeling like I want to play, but I don't really know what I want to play, I'll live stream. And it's just pure self-indulgence. It's not any... I spend a lot of time working on shit that does make me, in some sense, more accomplished, but not all my time. And when I'm playing, this is one of my primary forms of playing. I hope I'm entertaining. I'd like to be entertaining. I guess that's what it is, me trying to do, It's fun because it's basically perfectly suited for an action deliberator type. I get a succession of sets of words that I can act and deliberate upon on the fly, which is exactly my strong suit. And nothing's too deep. It's wide breadth of topic matter, and it allows for changing in temperament, so to speak. I can change from humor to serious and back and forth again. I can talk all fancy intellectual talk. I can make jokes. I can sing a song sometimes if I feel like it. If I'm not being too self-indulgent, people still stick around and watch it. I can always tell if I'm being adequately entertaining because if I'm really being boring, the numbers will start to drop, So it's a nice, basically the numbers do for me, they keep my FE intact, kind of, and everybody here keeps my FE intact, so I don't have to direct much attention to it, except in my words and what they say and stuff, I don't think juries are ever wildly out. Joey, I'm trying to imagine what a jury that was still out how it would differ from a jury that was still wildly out.
I know, I'm
Like,
wondering
are they
about
just-
that too.
Are they just dead set against going back into that jury room and they're throwing a rager outside the courthouse?
Well, two of us watched that same day and night.
I'm
Yeah.
tearing up laughing and my stomach aches and my face muscles are cramped. Is it FI? I think laughter is FI. If that's what you're talking about, you're saying you're
Wasn't that
amused.
tall, but
I believe that's FI.
yeah,
It's my favorite emotion is laughter. I love it when things make me laugh. It's definitely my favorite emotion, but I'm not sure it quite qualifies as an emotion. I think it's a behavior of sorts or a reflex, reflexive physicality, physical expression. It may have an is laughing an emotion? You know, I don't know. Is it? I guess it is, right? Who knows whether laughing is an emotion? Happiness from laughing is emotion? Okay, so the happiness comes after the laughing. So the emotion is caused by the laughing. Is that what you're saying? Laughter is not an emotion? Well, I know it's not an emotion per se, but it doesn't seem to correlate. Like, happy doesn't correlate with laughter, really. There's amused, I guess, would be an emotion. I hate my job and have a new one waiting. How should I quit? You should go up to your boss and say, hey, I've really, really enjoyed working here, and it's been a great opportunity, but I'm going to have to move on. You know, I've got opportunity elsewhere that I just can't pass up. So I'm here to submit my resignation. Just like that. Wouldn't laughing be a reaction? Yeah, it is. Reflex of sorts. If it's an honest laugh, it's a reflex. Like, people can't control themselves, you know. I always feel immensely satisfied when I get that kind of response from somebody where I can note in the moment they're in front of me. I can note their surprise and the reflexiveness of their laughter and the fact that it's not constructed at all, that they were genuinely caught off guard and their being erupted in laughter without any conscious or willful direction. That's the most gratifying feedback I can possibly get in the moment. I would say more gratifying across time is positive feedback about my music, but there's nothing quite as like juicy as making people laugh. It's so juicy. It makes me so happy. Don't apply at sin. I need you. Sin's going to be part of Zandy's harem. You know, it's going to be philosophical thinker, Sinjin, Hambone. I think Jeebus is going to be there. They're all going to be part of Zandy's harem. She's going to keep them locked in a duplex out back with beauty supplies and all the figs they can eat. Let's try. She invited me to apply as well. I said, I can't really, Zandy. I'm allergic to figs. So, okay. I think Sheila's going to apply for Sandy's harem too. Sandy, you're going to get a Sheila in there as well. You can make her foreman of the harem if you'd like. Put her in charge of philosophical thinker Joseph House and Hambone and Jim Barton. I mean, long term, to what do you want to get out of this whole experience? Not just your experience with the MBTI. Oh, well, I do want to be president eventually. I'd like to, after I'm president, I'd like to be a Supreme Court judge. It could go the other order. It wouldn't kill me, but I'd rather be president first. I think I have to be president first to become a Supreme Court judge. I don't have any other way of getting to become a Supreme Court judge without establishing the appropriate amount of competence in the presidency. And I'd like to be as famous as possible. I'd like to be extremely well known. I'd like to have the opportunity to engage with lots of different people. I'd like to talk to a lot of groups. I'd like to change the way people talk about politics and stuff. Change the way people talk about people in general. I'd like to invigorate the marketplace of ideas with worthwhile ideational work. Has anyone here ever used alcohol as milk in their cereal? I was an alcoholic And I never even thought about doing that. I was an alcoholic EHP, and that never even crossed my mind as an NE-DOM to try that. So, congratulations, sir. That's a good idea. We should make a brand of cereal that's made to have, like Tom Collins poured on top of it instead of milk. Alcoreal or Cereal. No, it would basically be like, olives, like a bowl of olives. Just add gin and vermouth.
I've been looking at you guys for 3 of you, and you all look alike.
We do. We look so similar. It's crazy.
I was going to say, hey, go away because I'm tired of listening to you.
If you just have like a mixture of dried olives and like lemon slices and other things they put in drinks, like cherries, right? Like dried up cocktail cherries, dried up cocktail olives, and dried up lemon wedge and dried up orange wedge, and you put that all into a box, right? And fill it up like a cereal.
Oh, you don't have to give it all. Because
you pour that and you just add vodka and tonic to it. And then you just eat that as breakfast. That's a great product. I think we could make, we could make some sort of branding deal with like Smirnoff or something. So it'd be, best, we put on our product box on the best with Smirnoff brand vodka, for example. Okay, I gotta go. Mom's getting a little restless. I'm getting a little restless too, I guess. So I have a number of things to do today, and I'm going to do those things. Some of them. I gotta go to the bank, and I'm running out of time for that. I gotta take Mom home. Type Police is coming up. Also, the tournament's coming up. I gotta do those things too. It's been busy. I've been busy. I don't know if I've really been busy, but I've had a finite amount of energy. I've had a lot of pulls on it. I had to re-floor the kitchen, for example. Okay, anyway, thanks a lot, everybody, for being here. Very much appreciated. And please, don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. I do. I got to go cash this check from... it's complicated.